Awesome. And I believe I am live. Hey guys, this is Dr. Nancy Lee. If you can see me live on both YouTube and LinkedIn, please comment on the chat so that I know I'm live. And also please introduce yourself. What's your name? Where are you from? And are you determined to become a product manager? And if you have any upcoming product manager interviews or not. All right. So quick introduction of myself. I am Dr. Nancy Lee. I help people transition from worker bee to a product manager and business leader. I've helped hundreds of people land their dream product manager job offer and continue to help them to get promoted as a product leader. And through my coaching program called PM Accelerator. So let me turn on my virtual background so you can know the website where you can go to learn more. Okay, great. So this website, drnancy.com. You can learn more about the PM Accelerator I run. And today we're giving pre-training to our upcoming live masterclass. And the masterclass is about how can you land your dream PM job offer in 60 days and thrive in it. And today, this is before you go live with me in our live masterclass. I want to address some very important questions from all of you guys. Basically, hey, Nancy, as you know, lots of companies announced layoffs and lots of companies also announced freeze hiring. And is this really a good time for me to look for a job? And if so, what are the best strategies given things have started to change dramatically in the past few months? Okay, so let's double check and let me see who is there with me. I want to see the live chat. And let me see the chat, so double check I don't see any messages. Can you guys see me on both LinkedIn and YouTube? Comment yes on the chat so I know I am officially live. Interesting. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So I think I am live on LinkedIn. Fantastic. So and YouTube. Fantastic. Okay, great. So now I can continue with today's talk. So I double check. You can really hear me in terms of any technology challenges. Okay, great. So I see people here. Yeah, feel free to comment on the chat regarding your questions. Becoming a product manager or landing your dream PM job offer during the pandemic. And also in this case, I believe potentially a recession is coming and during this hiring freeze or layoff seasons and any questions you have. Okay, so now today I really want to address this important question because there's an elephant in the room. People are like, hey, Nancy, why you ask us to look for a job given lots of companies start to lay off? Do I still even need to look for a new job? And is there still new opportunities out there? Okay, so let's really address the foundation of are there opportunities out there, and especially for your dream companies. And of course, people's definition of dream company is very different. Some people's dream company is join like Google, Facebook, or Meta, those kind of companies. And some people's dream company could also be working for yourself or join any unicorn startup. All right, so first of all, I do want to share with you another very exciting news, and also for fact that even if companies announce layoffs, such as Twitter just announced layoff, or like Coinbase announced laying off of 18 or 17% of the employees, and some companies also announced slow hiring, such as Microsoft, and some company also like Google also announced slow hiring. Lots of you guys know maybe there's no opportunities, but I do want to share with you behind the scenes stories. And are there really opportunities or not? Okay, so the answer is there are still lots of opportunities. And if you look up online, and lots of those big tech companies are still hiring, and especially for their core business. And I also believe that picture worth 1,000 words. All right, so let me show you for fact why they're still hiring, why I believe there's still so many new opportunities out there. So let me do this. Let me share you my screen. Hold hold on. Let me go to slideshow mode. Okay, let me show you what I mean, also the exciting news. Oh, one sec, sorry, sharing the wrong screen. Okay, where is my YouTube live screen? Fantastic. Okay, so let's do this. Let me share you the screen, and then you understand why I say all the companies are hiring. All right, so can you guys see my screen? I hope you can. And I believe I'm sharing correctly right now. Okay, great. So assuming you can see my screen right now, that's what I mean. So this is the offer our student just received this Sunday, July 9th, this Saturday, actually July 9th. And people are saying, oh, you know what? So big tech companies not hiring, they're not slow hiring or hiring freeze. Is there still opportunities out there? The answer is yes. Okay, so we removed all the confidential information from our student insider PM, etc. Okay, so this is a real message our student just sent me, and you see the offer letter. So he received the offer letter on July 8th, and on July 9th, he sent me a message saying that, hey, Nancy, I want to share this great news with you. My dream came true, and I got an official letter from Meta PM working on us and working at Menlo Park. I love to share all my whole journey with Meta interview later in the Discord channel, which is our alumni channel, PM Accelerator, and hope to help other classmates who are interested in Meta, and I really appreciate your guidance. And then that's just like screenshot of his offer letter from Meta. So I'm very, very excited to see this. Now, let me share with you regarding how things work from his perspective, so you understand what is like hiring freeze and not hiring freeze. And step number one, I want you guys to understand is that for Google, Meta, any of your dream company, for the core business, they will still continue hiring for sure. For example, the offer our student just received in Meta is working on Meta ads. Without ads, how would Meta going to make money? And same as Google, right? So which means maybe some remote area of Meta will freeze hiring certain project, not as important in terms of revenue-driven opportunity, right? So those opportunities will freeze hiring for sure. And now for the core business, they will continue hiring, and even hiring as I am speaking right now. We still have other students currently interviewing with Meta at this moment. Of course, someone just then offered last Friday and sharing the news last Saturday as well. So I want you to understand there are still opportunities out there. Now, very important question, which I need to ask all of you guys is that, do you really want to change job given there might be some like recession coming up, or there's some like things changing dramatically in the upcoming half year or few months or so? Right. So this is a very important question everybody needs to start thinking about. Now, let me share with you, how do I think about this opportunity, and would I continue to look for job, or do I just like maybe wait until the whole recession or different like layoff period pass? Now, how I thought about this is that specifically myself, actually I went through two economical downturn. One is 2008, and I arrived in the US working on my PhD. And then once I graduated, that was only 2 years after the first 2008 recession at the time. So there were very little jobs out there. But I figured out what the best methodology to land my very first job out of college and out of my PhD program. And then the second economic downturn, which was in April 2020, that's the very beginning of the pandemic. As you can hope you remember the time, almost all the business, they announced they freeze hiring, or almost all the business, they start to thinking about what do they change in terms of not hiring anymore, or change this organizational structure of how they run business. So in both two, like those recessions or / economic downturn, I was able to land 3 offers in both scenarios, and actually the 4 offers. The second time when I land my direct offer, that was in April 2020 when I went out for interviews, and I was able to land 4 offers out of 10 different interviews. And that was at the time when most companies, they announced freeze hiring. So I had lots of experience in terms of what you need to do in this special time. And so now let me share with you what's my thinking process. There's 3 strategies you need to follow today. Please make sure you take notes. Okay. So strategy number 1, very important. You need to have a heart-to-heart conversation with yourself and asking yourself this question. What if I had to stuck in my current job for another 2 years? Am I going to be happy or not? Important question, because as we all know, once recession hit, it's not going to bounce back from the recession in a month or 2. It will last for years. It's measured by years. In personal opinion, anytime we hit recession, lasts for 2 years, or until the job market finally warm up, right? I think we'll be 2 years. So which means, would you feel happy in your current job to wait for another 2 years? Here's how I made decision in April 2020. At the time, I had been working for Verizon for another 4 years at the time. And also I was promoted twice within the company during those 4 years. I was already on a fast track, continue to become the next level of the leader within Verizon. But I asked myself, do I feel happy continue to be there for another 2 years, which will be 6 years in total after I ride out the pandemic? The answer is no, because I knew I was ready for a leadership position. I want to become a director. And I look around inside the company and outside the company, I feel like I have a good shot. Why don't I go out for interview and see how things goes? Right. So at the end, within 2 months, I was able to just go out in interviews and landing 4 offers. Through those offers, a direct product offer, because I made the promise to myself. If I knew I won't be happy for another 2 years, why not go out and try my best, see what kind of offers I can land during this 2 months period. If I can land something, then that's good. If I can land nothing, okay, there's nothing else I can do. Just wait in my job for another 2 years, and knowing that I will be unhappy. So therefore, I took massive action and pushed really hard to land more offers, even if in April 2020, almost all the companies announced freeze hiring. So now, how exactly made it happen? Let me share with you guys step number 2. So before we tell you step number 2, given what I said, please comment on the chat, both YouTube and LinkedIn. Comment on the chat. After you ask yourself this question, would you feel happy staying in your current job for another 2 years? Okay, so which means comment on the chat. Would you still feel happy? Yes or no? If your answer is no, which means you got to take actions right now. Okay, so answer this question on the chat. Would you still feel happy if you're stuck in your current job for another 2 years? Comment on the chat. Let me see your answers. Okay. Cool. Let me see. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, you can see me now. I can see. Let me see the chat. I see the answer definitely a no. Keisha, I love that you're very honest with yourself. Actually, I have this heart-to-heart conversation with myself. I knew I won't be happy for another 2 years. Just no, sounds really long. Abshik, you said the same thing. No. So you won't be happy if you're stuck in your current job for another 2 years. No. Richa said no, with many no's, O's behind it. Yes, very important. Seriously, have this heart-to-heart conversation with yourself. If you're oh, I'm happy, everything's perfect. Let me just wait until if it's a pandemic or if this recession will hit or how long gonna last, feel free to stay. Some of our students, they decide to wait and see. Different people's scenario is very different. But if you'll be unhappy for at least for another 2 years, you got to take massive actions now. I see Michelle says same thing. No, I won't be happy for another 2 years. Definitely not. Okay, great. So for people who just answered no, very important. But first of all, congratulations for being honest with yourself. So which means the next step is follow the strategy I just laid out for you. Okay. So the second part of the strategy is now you won't be happy for another 2 years. Let's make sure we take massive action. What do? very important. Number one, please identify those cash cow opportunities. Okay, so let me define cash cow opportunities. For companies who are able to bring in large amount of cash that's independent of, let's say, higher costs or investors' money, and still doing extremely well regardless of the external environment. Let me give you some examples. So as like also everything I tell you is real life example because we have student actually landing offers in both companies I just told you. Okay, one student land offer from Coinbase. Coinbase announced freeze hiring, or not freeze, announced laying off. So her offer was rescinded. So I was very sad about it because Coinbase offer was extremely hard to get. Well, it's very unlucky because Coinbase was impacted by the economy. Now, the second group of the company, so it's a second student, she landed offer in another company. It's also a crypto company called Falcon X. Okay, so if you look at Falcon X, and basically it's similar to Coinbase, but their market is different, and their value proposition and also the customer segmentation is completely different from Coinbase. So Falcon X mainly serve high net worth individuals who were crypto whales, who had billions of net worth or at least millions of net worth in crypto. For people who had this high net worth, when they trade, buy any crypto, especially as we all know, like Ethereum price take like half of the price, and lots of crypto projects, they got hit as well because the price just went down, which is normal because like there's ups and downs, the high risk, high return, right? So once price went down, those high net worth individuals, they buy more because they feel like the market will continue to bounce up. And then if they buy lots of projects for half the price, sometime in the future, they're gonna at least double the value, right? So this high net worth individual, they continue to invest and buy more crypto. And each time they trade, they buy millions of dollars worth of crypto. For them, they're not going to go to Coinbase. They're going to go to another company called Falcon X. So Falcon X is designed to serve companies like this and serve customers who have high net worth individuals at each time they place millions of dollars trade. So Falcon X was a cash cow business. They never needed the investor money to continue to grow. They are positive cash flow for a very long time. So for those kind of companies, they're able to make high salary. For my student who already landed a job offer there, and our salary actually already exceeded $500,000 working for those companies. Now, in contrast, Coinbase, they're not cash cow business anymore because 85% of Coinbase revenue came from normal people like us who are not like billion-dollar net worth people. When we buy crypto, we buy maybe few thousand, maybe 10,000, something like that. When the recession hit or layoff starts, people like us are not going to buy as much crypto as before. So Coinbase immediately was hit by the economy and they start to announce layoff. But Falcon X continues to hire and continue to grow and continues to pay high salary in this scenario. So I want you to identify those cash cow businesses moving forward. Doesn't have to fan companies. As I said, even within fan companies, there's a high cash flow department. There's also low cash flow department, right? For example, our student who landed like this past weekend, land offer from Meta, his offer was in ads department. It's critical that ads need to perform extremely well for Meta in order to support the whole company. All right, so those high cash cow department of Meta will continue to hire and hire aggressively. Same thing as Microsoft and Google. Let me give you a secret. AWS, Amazon Web Services, some department within Amazon Web Services, they are hiring like crazy. We have students also land an offer from Amazon. I help her to negotiate her salary within Amazon, and specifically the hiring manager basically told her that she is the first hire within that department, but they continue to hire another 4 people within that group. So their department is growing very dramatic, very quickly. They have all the cash support from the executives and from the market, from the customers continue to grow dramatically. And they cannot hire enough people quick enough to join the team. The number one KPI was that we need to hire the best people, join us ASAP, immediately. So identify those cash cow opportunities going to open so many doors for you. And also, personally speaking, I do believe that the recessions and actually can create lots of new entrepreneurs. And also recession can actually help lots of people to jumpstart their career and accelerate their career. My career was accelerated at the beginning of April 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic, because I took the risk. I identified the fast growing business. I was able to take the risk and continue to grow my my career at the beginning when nobody was hiring at the time. And when I say nobody, I was still able to land 4 offers. 3 of those are direct apply offers. Okay, so there are opportunities out there. You just need to follow the right strategy. Okay, so I hope by now take notes. Come on the chat. Basic cash cow business as where you need to go during this recession. There are still lots of cash cow businesses out there. Okay, so the second thing, after you identify the cash cow business, and the third thing to do is apply in bulk. Okay, so during this special time, we all know, to be frank, the total volume of like jobs out there will be less, we all know. So which means that you cannot drag and slow down your job application process. You need to compound. There's a compounding effect. You need to compound all your effort quickly and apply jobs in bulk. Applying for jobs, in my definition, especially inside the PM Accelerator, where we teach, is you need to pitch yourself to hiring managers, and you also need to use the right keywords to craft your PM resume. So with a combination of networking and the right resume keywords, you are able to directly apply for multiple jobs in a weekend. So this is also how our student did it. And we have special training, which I call the 31 strategies, which is sitting for a computer one weekend, apply for 31 jobs, both networking and applying for jobs online, combination both strategies, and do 31 jobs within one weekend. And actually our student was able to land 9 interviews out of 31, which is 29% success rate. It's not just one student, like many students use the same strategy, being able to land multiple interviews. Okay, so follow these strategies and pick up your momentum and see the compounding effect. So you're able to get yourself into the interview mode and then also learn what's the best strategy to crack those interviews. And they said we have lots of free training on my YouTube channel, and you also need to master how the FANG companies and create their product, because the methodology of building the best product is universal, regardless you work for FANG companies or non-FANG company. And those skills is going to help you to do better in your interview and also your upcoming new job as well. All right. So in our upcoming masterclass, so let me show you guys how things work. In our hold on, let me slideshow. Cool. Okay, so let me show you my screen. Okay, so in our upcoming masterclass, where I'm going to teach you how to land your dream product manager job and thrive in it in 60 days, even if we might heading into a recession or you're currently experiencing a layoff. Okay, so go to this website, drnancy.com/masterclass, register for the free upcoming live masterclass. Okay, right now, I also want to start to ask questions. And what we do this session is a pre-event training, which is before you join masterclass, I want to address the top concerns you have currently regarding, can we still land a job? Is there jobs available? So that's why this pre-event training is very critical for you to get ready into the right mode to learn those free masterclass. Okay, if you're interested in learning more regarding how to join PM Accelerator, you can go to the masterclass and stay until the end, where I'm going to tell you regarding different packages, part of the PM Accelerator, and see if you're qualified for our program. Okay, so go to this website, drnancy.com/masterclass, register and learn more. Okay, and you can also see the link of the masterclass in the description of the video, both on YouTube channel and also on our LinkedIn Live event channel as well. Okay, so now let me answer some questions. Feel free to put your questions in the chat and let me know. And if you have any upcoming interviews or if any questions regarding becoming a product manager or upskill your product management career so that you can go for your dream company. Okay, so comment on the chat and let me know your questions. I see. Awesome. I see lots of people come in and say, yes, you can see my deck. I believe you have everything. That's awesome. Okay, great. So come on the chat regarding what questions you have for achieving your dream PM career, your dream PM role. Cool. One of the question I got is that if you how to break into PM with no experience. Okay, great. So people ask this question, how to break into product management with no PM experience? And the answer is very straightforward. Before you become PM, and we believe that the methodology is you need to learn it before you make it. Okay, so we believe that if you have no PM experience at all, the most important thing is you need to start to master the fan level product managers and how do they build product, what kind of framework they use, how do they do custom interview, how do they write requirements. So once you master those skills, you are more confident so that you can walk into interview and better present yourself. And on top of that, it's also easier for you to do your upcoming job better in your new job. As we can see, I don't believe that it's about landing a job. I believe that it's more about thriving a new job because it's very competitive. And inside PM Accelerator last weekend actually told another story regarding like two women was working for me in the past. One of them was better suited for the job because her education background, her past experience. And the other woman, she was more like designer with design background and has no PM experience at all. But the person who are better suited for the job was poor perform. The other person has no PM experience, actually was about to get promoted, was in like 4 months into a new job. The key differences was that the second person who about to get promoted should really think on behalf of the customers and should really have ownership, should also really like take the time to learn and master what it takes to become a better PM. Okay, so the other person, even a better suit, no, she didn't really take the effort and also perform as a CEO of product in her job. So therefore, I believe it's not about landing a job. It's more about how would you do better after you become a PM. So therefore, I want you guys to learn how to be a better PM before you become one. So inside of PM Accelerator, we teach you the fan level PM framework and also 60 different live cases we have done in the past that you can use to master your fan level PM skills before you even get started for your new job. I have another question. So TK asks, how much is the average APM salary? Okay, so average APM salary depends on your location. If you join fan companies, for example, we have several students join fan companies. So they are getting paid as entry-level PM 150 per year. Okay, in total, 150 per year, actually 150, a little bit higher than 150, average 150 for fan company, the entry-level PM. Now, for non-fan company, depends on your location. We have students who are APM position in Silicon Valley startup, her total compensation is 130K per year. We also student landing a PM job offer in like Boston or remote PM position in East Coast location, right? So their APM salary is relatively lower, could be like 85K. Also depends on how you negotiate salary, because I negotiate salary for all my students. So their salary in general, they bump up higher. But that's the numbers we have received in terms of APM, depends on locations, fan companies, and non-fan companies. So next question. Is APM salary negotiable even if you're part of a rotational program in which everyone is likely getting paid the same level? I still think APM salary is negotiable. Okay, so it's a band. There's a range you can move around. You cannot go all the way to go above your band. There is a band, you need to stay in the middle. Now the APM can go at a lower band, a higher band. It's totally up to you. Okay, so I believe that it's still negotiable. All our students, we teach them how to negotiate higher salary. So you can do better. So next question, should we apply to direct PM roles if we have some experience in industry, or apply to APM, RPM role is beneficial? Okay, so Richard, I feel it depends. Really depends on your year's experience and what your goal, right? So for those APM and RPM program in FAANG companies, they said you can only work up to 2 years out of college. So which means that you cannot be too mature with working for too long, even if a no PM experience. So it's just like you cannot apply for those APM position if you have worked for more than 2 years. So in that situation, you are forced to directly apply for PM position in like other companies. Okay, so you need to ask yourself this question first. Now let's assume if you have the option to apply for APM and PM positions and you already have some work experience in the industry. Now here comes the question. If your prior experience working for the industry can be repackaged to PM experience, or you have done something related to PM and you can directly apply for PM positions. Okay, this happened to one of our students. Actually, he had no PM experience, but he worked for 7 years. But through our training inside PM Accelerator, we discovered that actually part of his 7 years experience is very relevant to product management. And then he started to apply for non-FAANG company because he's like too old for FAANG company more than he has 7 years work experience in total. So he applied for non-FAANG companies. And those companies basically was like, wow, you're qualified for like senior PM for startups and definitely PM for larger firms, no problem. So therefore, depends on your value proposition and how you package your story. In the past, he only applied for APMs. His goal was, Nancy, help me get an APM role. In reality, it was like, I feel based on how we package your story and how much you have done in the past, you should qualify for PM, no problem. And he was also going for like senior PM from the interviewer's perspective. So I would try both, but it's case by case. Okay. Abhishek, what are the core skills hiring manager usually look for in a senior PM role? Fantastic question. Okay, the core skills, and number one, senior PM had leadership skills. They want to see the large scope you have worked on. Okay, so let me define the larger scope as a senior PM. You cannot just work on login feature of Instagram, it's kind of scope kind of small. So for senior PM, they want to see you being able to work on something dramatic, bigger, working across functional team has a bigger organizational impact. It's something they're looking for immediately. And then second, how would you present your leadership skills? That's really showing your interview skills. If your interview skills are good, you know how to give them examples of leadership skills, being able to influence cross-functionally. Okay. Now, the third thing the people are looking for the senior PM is that your stakeholder management skills. Okay. So for senior PM, you not only just writing requirement, they're looking for someone who is able to deal with very complicated organizational structure. So that's very critical. Right. So, and now number 4 is that for senior PM, they're looking for you being able to lead without authority. So the influencing without authority is very critical for senior PM as well. And as a senior PM, if you can demonstrate you have prior experience, mentoring and managing other people will also help you significantly as well. Okay. So actually inside of PM Accelerator, we have a tool where we help people how to identify your past experience and understand what is necessary and required for senior PM, director, or entry-level PM. So we have a basic tool, compare your past experience into what the hiring manager is looking for, and they help you to recreate your narratives and highlight the core strengths that match what the new team is looking for. So that will increase your efficiency in terms of landing into your next level senior PM positions. And so we believe that actually product portfolio is going to help you significantly to better present yourself as well. So I have a free training on YouTube regarding how to use a product portfolio. You can just Google on YouTube, search on YouTube, product portfolio, Dr. Nancy, you can find it. Inside PM Accelerator, we also give you lots of examples of senior PM, direct PM product portfolio, and also some who's entry-level PM product portfolio, what does it look like? So that's one way to help you to stand out. So next question, Fred. Those interested in product management roles, so should know going in this is very long. Those interested in a product management role should know going in the product management. The product manager has all the responsibility for delivering the product to market without having any of the authority to make it happen. So the ability to get development engineering on the same page often requires solid interaction skills in order to persuade, same the product marketer and sales. Yes, exactly. You need to learn how to influence without authority. Cool. So next question. Dr. Nancy, you're doing well, ma'am. If someone just contemplating to begin his or her journey in PM, according to you, how should one prepare for PM roles in a structured manner? So are you saying that to begin, have you already landed your job? AA, can you comment in the chat? What do you mean just contemplating to begin the career? So are you saying that you haven't started yet? You don't even have a job yet, or you're saying that you have a job already? You're just trying to figure out how should one prepare for PM roles in a structured manner? Okay, so I don't have the context. Let me make some assumptions, right? I assume in this case, you about to get started without even having a job. So before you get started, this is my suggestion. Before you have a PM title, the key to learn product management roles and skills in a structured manner is that you really need to follow the step-by-step guidance and understand from end-to-end product management perspective, how would you do customer interviews, how to do ideation, all right? And then how would you be able to work in cross-functional team to create your MVP? And then how would you design the GTM strategy to launch your product? And those are all the key skills you need to learn. And the best way, I believe the best way to learn it is by using the live case studies. Because it's easy, just get a $10 Udemy course, tell you what is like high level, what is product management. And the best way to learn is to live case studies and building a product portfolio and apply the 10 steps. What is the best way to build a product from end to end? And then going into the experience, the building hands-on experience as a product manager. That's the best way to learn. And actually, inside of PM Accelerator, actually, we have the process of building product portfolio and help you gain hands-on experience. And I personally believe that the key to become a PM, learn it before you make it, not fake it until you make it. I totally disagree with how people create the phrase fake until you make it. I believe you need to learn it before you make it. Okay, actually do it before you make it. So AA, so your what you said is transition from marketing role. So you don't have a job yet. Okay, so my assumption was correct. Yes. So if you're transitioning from marketing roles, it's very critical. You need to start to build a product portfolio and gain hands-on experience, and by doing live case studies. And I believe the most efficient way to learn, because high-level theoretical learning, everyone can just like hear about it, but it's very hard to execute. So doing some live case studies and gain hands-on experience by building a product portfolio is the way to go. Okay, so you can learn more regarding how we train our students on the website, drnancy.com, and learn more regarding how live case studies work. Okay. Another question. How can I get experience working in SDLC or PDLC? What is SDLC, PDLC? Most of the Can you spell out what is SDLC or PDLC? Most of the entry-level jobs for PM requires knowledge in SDLC, PDLC. What is that? Okay. Shashik. Yeah, please spell out what do you mean by SDLC or PDLC? Or it will be very weird. Software development life cycle. Okay, I see. So entry-level job requires software development or product development life cycle. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, so how would you get experience working for software development lifecycle? Specifically, the methodology to do it is that you should start attend some hackathons and building a product portfolio. I said I emphasize product portfolio multiple times. Okay, so you need to gain those experience. I don't believe that people just need to fake it. Is that you basically you lie, you said you had it, why you even lied? Okay, the best way is to build a product portfolio. Okay, how to get exposure to those opportunities is directly build a product portfolio by attending some hackathons or volunteer in startups or in your current company, creating those experience, at least getting exposure to the software development life cycle. And that's the best way to learn. Yeah, you got to learn it before you make it. So how can, and also the other thing is that getting exposure doesn't mean that you have to be a software developer. So there's a huge differences between being a software developer and actually knowing how things work. So therefore, you just need to find opportunities to get exposure, to learn about how things work. That will help you significantly. And which means that you need to be able to answer questions regarding how can I gain product management experience and how do you work with engineers and being able to tell them stories of how do you work with engineers. So that's very critical and important for them to demonstrate your software development lifecycle experience. Okay. How can we how can we get experimental learning without being in a job? That seems to be the critical way to understand things. I tried to apply for internship, but for graduate, what do you do on my own to gain experience? Very good. So very good. Okay, good question. If you have a full-time job, how would you gain experience? All right, so you just need to leverage the alumni network or your personal networking skills to gain those experience, to gain an internship. Even if you can get a full-time job, you don't have to be like, hey, the internship doesn't have to be 9-to-5 job. The internship can only focus on maybe during the weekend or after work. You just need to identify those opportunities. And actually, the student I mentioned who landed a job at Amazon as a PM, she was able to leverage the alumni network we have. So we have lots of resources regarding where you can identify the internship opportunities. Even if you have a full-time job, lots of students have a full-time job, they're doing this internship on the side. So we teach them how to use the alumni network and how to identify those opportunities, and so that they're able to create a product portfolio and then present themselves to be a more suitable PM, and then being able to land a job offer from Amazon. So that's how things work. Okay. Any resources, cohort recommendation for structured preparation for breaking into PM roles? Yes, that's the course we teach, PM Accelerator. You can go to this website, drnancy.com/masterclass, and to learn more about our program. So stay until the end. We have different packages inside the PM Accelerator, so you can see which one works the best for you. Okay, so just go to this website, drnancy.com/masterclass to learn more. You can also find the link in the description of this, like a YouTube live or LinkedIn live, to register for our masterclass to learn more about our program. Yes, we have a very structured preparation way to tell you how to break into PM by working on 60 different kind of live cases and creating your own product portfolio, and also master the interview skills to repackage your stories to demonstrate your past experience. And those are transferable skills you need to talk about in your interview, and also crack the product design, product sense, like execution, product strategy interview. So we do both preparation term interviews and also master the PM skills before you even become one. Yes, go to this website, drnancy.com and the /masterclass and learn more. Cool. Let me do this. Let me show you this slide. I think people still couldn't find it. Okay, so let me do this. Let me do the slideshow. Oh, I couldn't find the slideshow. Okay, great. So let me share my screen so you know where to find it right here. Yeah, basically this website, drnancy.com/masterclass, where I teach you how to land your dream product manager job and thrive in it in 60 days with step-by-step guidance. So go there to learn more. So this masterclass is free. If you want to join our PM Accelerator, you can stay until the end of the masterclass to learn more about different packages inside the PM Accelerator. Okay, so this training is a pre-event training before our live masterclass. So you are in luck. You're just learning about all the foundations before you go into our live training. So go to this website and reserve it before all the free tickets are gone. Okay, so let me do this. Let me see, do we have more questions? Hold on, let me go to this dashboard. Okay. Shita said, presently, I work as a product owner, business system analyst. However, I would want to upgrade to product manager, senior product manager role. My challenging areas seem to be scenario-based questions where lead more experience working hard on these areas. Any suggestions? Okay, so the best way to do it, to be frank with you guys, it's not about cracking the interview because you don't have it, because you don't know how to package your past experience that's more relevant to product management. And you didn't even know what's the right way to build a product. How would you be able to create the scenario-based answers? For example, how do you work with engineers? How do you design the GTM strategies? Go-to-market strategy? How would you work in a cross-functional team to align stakeholders, right? So those kind of examples, maybe if you're a marketer, you might be able to talk about how to align this like a cross-functional team's expectation from different stakeholders. However, the differences between what a business analyst is answering and the question and what a product manager is answering the question is that product managers start from the day one, the product management mindset. Okay, so which means that even if you might have done something similar to product management, but you don't know how product managers think, you don't know how product management in real life, the FAANG companies, how they build the product framework. And whatever you say, people are, oh, she's still thinking as if she's a systems analyst or business analyst. Everything she has done is just like too far away from what the real product manager is doing. So it doesn't matter how hard you try, just couldn't even break in. Okay, so therefore, inside the PM Accelerator, when you go to this website to learn more, you will discover that the methodology, how we train our students, master it. Okay, learn it before you make it. You need to understand in real life what do product managers think about. You have heard of customer interviews. Do you know how to do customer interview with laser focus and asking the right questions at the right time, right? So those are differentiator between an outstanding product manager or just someone who is an AI want to become a PM with different title in the past. So I suggest all of you guys learn in real life what's the best way to do product management tasks ahead of time. That's why learn it before you make it. So inside PM Accelerator, we teach you 60 different kind of live cases we have done in the past. And then using those live cases, you already tone your muscle and master all the key skill set before you even become a PM. And then once you go into the interview, they ask you specific scenarios. So how do you work with engineers? How do you do this? How do you write requirement? You already build product portfolios and gaining those experience, and or talking about your transferable skills in the past, so that you're much more confident presenting yourself in those different scenarios. So you got to learn it. I don't want people just, hey, just tell me a story. It just doesn't work. Okay, make sure you learn it. It's not about landing a job. It's about thriving in your job and do a much better job. Or it's just like very irresponsible for your new employer. You will get fired. You don't know how to do it well. Okay, so thank you so much for taking my questions. I'm looking forward to your mentorship and guidance. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, AA, for joining us. Okay, so looks like we answered all the questions. Awesome. Okay, great. So here is the next step. And this is a pre-event training, which means everybody who already registered for PM Masterclass, you should watch this and get ready for our upcoming live training. Make sure you take all the notes. When you register, you should already receive an email regarding preparing the template for your PM resume. So make sure use all the training before you even come into live session, because I'm going to tell you lots of strategies. You can take lots of notes, and things are going very fast when I give a talk. Okay, so pay close attention for any time you need to do any homework you need to do before you come to the live session. Okay, once you go live session, you're going to take massive actions applying the strategies. Okay, we have people actually crazy when someone using the materials we have prepared, even for the free masterclass. Someone just emailed me who was able to land 5 interviews within a day, 24 hours after our live masterclass, by using the right PM resume framework and strategy we just taught him. All right, so I want all of you guys to achieve the same kind of result by taking massive actions. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you live in my live masterclass coming up. Go to this website, drnancylei.com/masterclass. It's also in the description of the video, and I'm going to see you soon in my live masterclass, and we'll talk more how do we select people to join the PM Accelerator. Okay, great. See you soon. Have a good day. See you guys. Bye.